The goals you're looking to achieve are hiding behind the things you are avoiding. Ladies and gentlemen, 7 years ago, my life was completely different. This was my life right here. I was a music festival addict. Psytrance festivals, 24 to 48 hours of continuous music, non-stop alcohol, substances, huge amounts of fun. This was the best time ever, but I was addicted. After 2 years of going to these over 30 festivals, I got to one point in the bottom left and I took so much of one substance and I went into this drug-induced psychosis. I believed that I was going to die that day. There I was on these substances, running away, taking my clothes off, running away from people, diving into water, trying to inhale water to kill myself. And then it clicked. I had to get help. Fortunately, I didn't die that day, and I got to the medic tent. They helped me out, and I went to get help. When you get so close to death, then you realize how important and special life is, because there's only one life. And this was almost like a rebirth. I spoke to a psychologist, spoke to a psychiatrist. They diagnosed me with depression, social anxiety. I never knew I had social anxiety, never knew it. But now I had something that I could start fixing myself with. So the goals that I wanted were hiding behind the things I was avoiding. So with this social anxiety, once I found the problem, now I could tackle it. I can start to fix. I was using these substances as a coping mechanism. So coping, not being able to, I was just coping by taking all these substances. So I decided, moving over to New Zealand, I needed to get and focus on the tougher things to improve. So I decided to face my fears. I started public speaking, and this was terrifying. The first time I was frozen up, couldn't speak, faces going red, and I stuttered, and I went back to the university public speaking club every week, next week, and again, and again. And that was absolutely painful for 6 months, but I slowly got better. Next thing is speaking to attractive girls. I was deathly afraid of attractive girls in university, and I decided I need to just go and speak to them. So I'd walk up, "Hi there, my name is Lawrence. I think you're attractive, what's your name?" I probably did that over 250 times at university, but it gets better and easier and easier. Next thing, I got some more healthy habits. So I started running. I ended up running a marathon at the Taupo Marathon. That was really tough. I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling big sweaty men, strangling them. So that was really fun. And then my new goal, I've got a new goal to run a 100-kilometer race within 24 hours. Hopefully by the end of this week. So we'll see how that goes. Next thing, moving into my career, so I joined as a property manager with a company, and that was really, it was good, valuable. I was still a bit nervous as a property manager, still speaking to people, lots of problems, didn't really earn that much money, but built skills, small skills over here, and I reached the cap in terms of learning and income, and then I read the 10X rule book, and I decided I need to get into sales. This is where I'm going to benefit the most. I'm going to grow. So I joined a commercial sales team, and 8 months I was there. 4 months was COVID. No one was doing any deals. It was really tough because no one could do deals during COVID, and I did 8,000 phone calls, 1 or 2 lease deals, no sales. I was paired up with the wrong type of mentors, and it just wasn't working out. Eventually, it got to a point in COVID where they said, look, I didn't want to take the good old jab right away, so I said, I'm just going to take a pause here, and they said, nope, you're a hazard to the industry, you need to get out the company. So had to leave and then moved on to the next venture. So I joined up a friend, and he was doing property investing work, so buy, renovate, sell, and we bought a Pitney Bowes 2000 letter envelope machine. This does about 3,000, we did 3,000 address letters per week. We were getting phone calls coming in. My skills were not that good. I couldn't close people trying to buy their properties off market. It didn't really work too well. It just wasn't. My skills were not that good. My friend did a few trades, and then as the market started dropping, all of the margins were like getting evaporated for the property traders. So I thought, well, I need to join residential real estate. So that's where I joined, right there in the Auckland market, at the peak. And I thought, I'm going to cream it. This is going to be easy. I can sell heaps of property. So my first 5 months, I was arrogant. I had $40,000, bit of money saved for my dad's helped me give us a bit of money and a bit of money for a house deposit. And I thought, if I use this money, spend it on Facebook ads and flyers, I'm going to make heaps of money, sell tons of property. I had no credibility. I still didn't know how to close a deal and sign someone up. So month 1 goes by, 2, 3, 4, 5. There I was, $7,000 left. Still haven't sold a property left. I was almost broke, and real estate's like building a bridge, I view it as. So there's different bricks, and without your bridge complete, nothing's going to flow over it. So I was practicing, doing 30, 60 minutes of training every single day, practicing, trying to get better, but I didn't know how to close someone and get someone signed up. So that was kind of the key thing. It was probably nervousness. I thought I was cursed. There was all this self-doubt in myself. And driving to work for 5 months and still not getting anything, that was painful. I thought I was absolutely cursed. Eventually, I found another guy, sent him a letter. I sold his doors on Trade Me to try give myself more credibility to sell his next property. So I said, if I sell your doors on Trade Me, then can I get your listing? So I put his doors on Trade Me, $1 auction, sold it within like 5 days, great. And then he still didn't want to give me the listing. So I paired up with another agent, Jay Singh, successful $1 million writer, and he was persistent at the listing presentation, answering all the objections, saying yes, answer again. And it's just kind of having that persistence. We eventually signed it up, and we sold his property within, say, 1 week. Boom! First one sold, $470,000. Yes! Broke the ice. Once that clicked, something clicked in me, and I signed up another 4 listings the next 2 weeks. And then the momentum started to build, and I was hooked. Head of legal drugs over there, not illegal. Over the next few months, I worked 70 hours a week. I've done 800 appraisals, 20 months of work since selling the first property. We sold 100 properties and wrote $2 million commission. So now we rate at the top 16 in New Zealand for Ray White, and this is how we did it. So we've got the 3-step leverage strategy: skills, people, advertising. So this is how we did it. First thing is skills. Now, if you want to cut down a lot of trees in life, you need to have a sharp axe. If your axe is not sharp, you're not going to cut down a lot of trees. So it's just like real estate. We need good skills to sell a lot of property. So 30 to 60 minutes of training, ideally more, and that's practicing. So the real estate gym, that became my university. Tom Panos, Josh Teslin, we follow a lot of systems. We've got Adrian Bowe, John McGrath. I've watched all those videos probably 5, 6 times, again and again, just getting that synced into my brain exactly, just copy, paste, copy, paste. The next thing is the books. I read the 10X rule and Be Obsessed or Be Average. So these books are highly beneficial for business mindset and persistence. We work 7 days a week, so it is a long time, but we have a lot of leverage because we learn a lot more faster than our competitors, and then we track our numbers. So we'd say the number of calls that we do, the number of appointments that we do, the number of in-person meetings. If you track it every day, then you track it each week, and if you don't track your numbers, you can't measure it. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So tracking your numbers is the clear-cut, easy way to see, are we actually performing? Next thing is team. So look, it's not all myself. The team is highly beneficial. A lot of credit goes to team. So after 12 sales, I got my first admin assistant. I couldn't even afford to pay them for the next year. So I decided I needed to sell more property. So hired an admin assistant that took off the admin task, which was really beneficial to our business. Next thing, 14 sales, first associate. We got Aiden. 24 sales, second associate. Aishan, after 55 sales, third associate. We got Anthony, my brother, and then after 80 sales, we got Akash as well as a second admin. Now, this admin doesn't even live in New Zealand. They're from the Philippines. We pay them $10 New Zealand an hour, so it's really cheap, and we got them from Upwork. It's just a freelance app over there, so they do probably about 20 hours of work per week, so really beneficial. I'd recommend checking out Upwork. So this is a combined 330 hours of work week into our team. So that's the leverage, it's 330 hours. If we compare to someone who's only working 40 hours a week, we've got 330 on our team. So it's a lot of effort and time. So where did our listings come from? Firstly, we've got letters and flyers. I'm going to give you the letter strategy that enabled us to list 40 properties in the last 12 months just from letters. Next thing is the calls. So we're doing 1 to 2, ideally 3 45-minute sessions, phone calling, speaking to vendors, building rapport, and the calls need to be short, 2 minutes or less. Person's not selling, we really want to be speaking only a minute to them. So we're in a high volume market, around about 850 to 950K is the average price for us. So we keep the high volume we keep that pumping. Networking open homes, so 19% of our listings come from there. Also speaking to anyone. So I spoke to a guy repairing a heat pump at another property. It turns out he's got a property, we listed his property, sold it for $1 million. So we just speak to anyone. We speak to a cleaner in our office. He's cleaning the window. Oh, it turns out he owns the cleaning company. He's covering for someone, he owns 5 properties. So the cleaner owns 5 properties. So we just speak to everyone that we can. Online profiles, we've got the Google ads doing about $6,000 a year. We've got Facebook ads, about $70,000 a year, as well also from Facebook VPA, as well as the door knocking. So this is all the basics, the 10, 10, 20 door knocking over there. So what is the advertising? Big marketing budgets, big photos of yourself, and more is better. So firstly, big marketing budgets. This is the strategy that enabled us to sell $427,000 of vendor-paid advertising over the last 12 months. First thing is the case studies. So we have this on the iPad, and it might be a bit small over here, but we say, look, this is our 29 Detro Street. They spent $5,000 marketing. We had 3 offers at $850 to $950K, and we took it to auction with 6 bidders. This sold 21 days, $1.35 million. $400K over where the offers were. And then on the iPad, I zoom in to Susan. Look at Susan, look how happy she is. All the money in the box over there. Just a bit of a good joke over there. Next thing, we got the other case study, Jellicoe Road. Now, this property was actually bought and then resold for more money because the owner kind of underspent on marketing. So this one actually, they spent $2,000 marketing, sold at $565. What happened was a property investor bought it and he'd relisted with our team. He spent $6,500 2 weeks later with no renovation work done. What happened? He sold it for $650,000. So he made $85,000 profit. We'd rather spend a little bit more in marketing, get the right buyer, and get that $85,000 for ourselves. So these case studies prove to someone that sometimes more people through pushes the price up higher. Next thing is our marketing budget. So bronze, silver, gold. So we've got the number of views estimated underneath. So I put 25,000 in the smallest. We got 200,000 on the medium, 297,000 on the large. And then most popular is the silver one. So people like to pick the silver one over there. It's the most popular in the middle. The reason the views are high in the middle, because number one is Facebook ads, as well as a bit of print advertising that gets about 80,000 views each week. So this is essentially, and the bronze is just a digital package over there. So showing the vendors how many views are we expected to get with the different packages. They say, well, I want the most amount of views because I want the most exposure. Next thing with the marketing, so we've got big photos of myself. So any photo, I zoom it into my face as much as possible, because let's say if your face is not there, anyone's suit and body looks the same. Your face is your brand. That's the only unique thing of your whole body. So I just zoom it in as much as possible on Trade Me. I make the biggest sold sticker we can get, as well as got the big sold, we've got the big photo of myself underneath. Next thing is the flag. I've got custom ones as big as face possible. So if someone's on the road, they can see, oh, I know who that bloke is. Next thing is we've got some billboards now. We've got the zoomed in as much as possible to my face. Next thing, we've got the buses zoomed in as much as possible. And I'd say that the benefit for the single guys is these billboards work really well for Tinder. You get the girls. I've seen your billboard. I might just keep it up like that. That's really good. All right, the phone setup. So we save all of our contacts on our phone. We have the money bag, so like Josh Teslin. So we click the money bag, all our contacts would pop up very easily. We use a hammer for a developer. We use different emojis for different types of people. We can access them so quickly. You can even use an emoji for those Tinder dates, easy to access. And then also in the notes tab, we'll add some notes about when speaking with a client. So we can just scroll through our phone, call them immediately when we are pausing for a meeting. Next thing is the texting. So about 7,000 texts 700 texts per week to the hot sellers that are potentially selling. And we will use group text or hit 'em up. So this is a software that we just send through our phones to all our potential sellers. So it's one text at least per week to all potential sellers on our database. And they just constantly, auction updates, over reserve, all the positive things that we want to build their confidence. So the higher the confidence they have, the more chance they're wanting to list in the future. Volume is everything. So there's about quite a few properties in Auckland, 693,000. Now, how many sold in the last 12 months based on the stats? 2.7%. What does that mean? If we speak to 37 people, you're going to speak to one person that's going to sell in the next 12 months. If we speak to 74 people that day, we're going to speak to one seller in the next 6 months. And if we speak to 148 people, we're going to speak to one seller in the next 3 months. So if someone has not spoken to 37 people that day, well, you might have not even spoken to one person that day. So volume is everything. We need to send letters, we need to do flyers. It's volume. The more people we're in touch with, the more chance we have is getting that potential seller. Big marketing, the next pillar. We do about 2,000 address letters per week. These are delivered these are just hand-delivered letters in the letterboxes, very personalized, 4,000 flyers per week, and $74,000 on Facebook marketing. So we do $1,000 per campaign on average with our marketing on Facebook, which really helps get 20 to 30 inquiries, as well as really helps that brand exposure. That enables us to do about 15 appraisals per week, and this is kind of the letter strategy that we have. So this is an off-market strategy that we use for our letters. I'll have all the slides available on my Instagram if you want. So if you go to my story, you can download all the slides. But this is the letter strategy right here. We don't use any branding. We say, look, this is an off-market sale. We bring through the buyers, flexibility, no need to tidy up, no need for open homes, and it's cost-free. We've got these buyers, 46 plus, that are missed out with all their requirements and their budgets. Now, people call us to say, bring the buyers through. So this is it's an off-market first, and then if it doesn't work, then you list on market. So it's so easy to just say, because what do people want? No one wants an open home. No one wants to take 3 weeks to sell. What they want is they want the end result now. That's what people want. So I'm saying, I've got the end result, the buy right here, I'm going to give it to you now. And then they give us a call. So we'll send out 300 letters, we'll get one phone call. If we get a good off-market offer, we sell it. Very easy. But the conversation to convert it to on-market, if we don't get a good offers, is very, very important. So the first thing is we sit down with the vendor and we say, all right, we've exposed it to 10% of the marketplace. And this 10%, it's not the whole market. 90% has missed out your property. The next thing we tell the vendor, say, look, there's 3 buyers. There's the bargain hunter, 70% fair price buyer, and the premium buyer. We recommend we need to expose it to that 90% of the market to get the premium buyer, because we've got these offers right here. They're in the bargain hunter zone. So you kind of protect your vendor and protect it, because if you just give them the offers and say this is the best in the market, they're not going to want to list it later, because then you're a crap agent. So wrapping up in terms of how we win at listing presentations, we could go on forever, but there's a few key things that we want to focus on. Firstly, it's a high energy, smiling, play a good song, just be that bubbly energy person. Jokes and positivity, so we always try and make a joke with a vendor. I have jokes littered throughout the whole presentation. Firstly is the market. When I show that graph, I say, look, the market could come up, could come down, it could be a bit flat for the next 1 year. My prediction expires tonight, 12 o'clock. Then the vendor's like, okay, this guy actually he's a bit more down to earth. He's not just telling me what the market's going to do. Next thing is health and safety. We say, look, let us know if any health and safety issues are going to happen with any health and safety issues about your property. Let us know if any bricks are going to fall on our head. Then we talk about AML. We say, look, we need to do some AML checks. We need to make sure you're not laundering money or a terrorist. I don't think you guys are. So just some small jokes over there. And then lastly, Josh Teslin does the funny socks. So we've got the funny emoji socks over here. And we just walk into the house, I've got my best socks for you. And they're like, oh, I've got the funny socks. I've got eggs and bacon. I always feel a bit bad for people that don't eat bacon. Here I'm wearing eggs and bacon on my socks. And then the rebook meeting. So in person, once we say talking to the client and we want to sign them up and they don't want to sign up right away, we need to book the meeting in person right there. So we sit down and say, look, I'm free in the next 48 hours or 1 week, 2 weeks. Let's book in another meeting for a follow-up catch-up where you can handle the price objections and all the other objections that they might have. So looking on to the last bit of the presentations, these are a few of the lessons that I've learned to go next level. This is what the key takeaways that I've kind of learned to go next level. Firstly, is coping with substances is not the solution. I know a bit of moderation is okay, but coping with them, using it as a blanket is not the solution. Delayed gratification, there's always big things coming. So we want to focus on the big things and delaying. Don't eat the chocolate now, let's wait. Let's wait 5 years, let's wait 10 years. Let's see how big we can make this cake. And with a delayed gratification, 80% of my earnings are put back into the business for year one. So it's a lot of money. Admin assistant, marketing, we just put all the money back in, and that enabled us to scale for the next year. So we did about 1.5 million our second year in 1 year just because we scaled so quickly. So the second last slide over here, real estate summed up. I put in ChatGPT, I typed out a few paragraphs, and there's a few things on summed up real estate. Number one, master prospecting. We need to talk to everyone. Number two, in-person is always income. We need to be face-to-face with clients. And number three, passion drives sales. We need to be passionate. So I'd like to leave you with the last thought of the day, is that the goals that you want are hiding behind the things you are avoiding. Thank you.